Okay, we're back. We've finished the lair. We have finished 8 floors of the dungeon. We have no rooms. And we have a significant, almost maxed amount of rue piety. We're training unarmed and throwing right now. Pretty soon we're going to not be using this trident anymore. We don't have any MR, and we have vulnerabilities to fire and cold. So Orc is going to be unfun. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do to kill a bunch of stuff in dungeon. Probably going to finish out dungeon first. And then we'll see. We'll see what we do when it comes to the Orc mines. A little bit concerned about Orc mines, honestly. Take a lot of damage from... I mean, I could take a lot of damage from stuff like Bolt of Fire from the Sorcerers, but then I could also take a lot of damage from them summoning Ice Demons, or... I guess, you know, just summoning in general is usually scary when it comes to the Orc Sorcerers, but it's more so now because now an Ice Demon, we're just as scared of that as like a 6 Furhy. Or almost. This is an interesting. So there's a unique greatsword here. Of course, we don't have any wands of digging, and disintegration does not break walls anymore. And unlike when there were statues, we can't blink until we go into this. These actually count as full walls. So we're just gonna have to forget about that. I mean, I'll make a note that says digging, Randart, greatsword. What an odd siren. Sure you guys can hear that out there. I have no idea what that is. Sorry about that. Just wait for that to pass. Wow. Anyway, looks like we've run into a 2-headed ogre. It's been a couple days since I played this character. I'm trying to remember if I can survive hits from this dude. Let's see, 35 damage plus, what is it, 22 from the Giant Spiked Club? This is the most fun when we get to do this math. I mean, I'm being a little sarcastic, but it's integral. It may be tedious, but you gotta do it. So 42, 57, and then whatever a dire flail is, I'm gonna assume 20, even though it's probably a little less. So 77 damage. We can survive a hit from him, so that's fine. Let's just pop up the Pog and see if we can't just kill him, assuming he can do about 77 damage to us. I'm gonna power leap and finish him. Yeah, come to think of it, I seem to recall we've done that before. 2-headed ogres are a real milestone, I think. Like Hydras, 2-headed ogres, Death Yaks to a lesser extent, Spiny Frogs. Like I've used certain enemies as milestones in terms of, is this character able to consistently kill them one way or another. All right, we got sacrifice time. Every single one of these sacrifices will take us to full piety. Drink is pretty bad, as you saw on the last character, the Felid. Pretty dangerous, at least it can be. I don't want to take Eye because that's like wearing an Amulet of Inaccuracy, which is not great. We're relying on melee a lot. I'm going to take Essence. Yeah, I'm going to take Essence because that won't nuke. That really only nuked our mana by 2 points. We're never going to have a ton of mana, and we're never really going to use mana for anything but stat form, assuming we find it, and Pog. So we don't need an overwhelming amount of it. Even being able to cast Pog one time is enough to reset fights, assuming that you don't miscast. So, oh, hello. We don't want to fight her at all. Wow. I would not. I would have preferred we didn't run into her. She can do. Let me look at what she can do. I want to see what the damage is. 3, 15, 30, 45. Okay, that can't kill me outright, even with vulnerability. Jeez. Crystal Spear cannot kill me outright in one shot. But if she can paralyze us, that's a real issue. If she can banish us, that's a real issue. So I have two choices here. Really only two choices, in my opinion. I could take the portal, which means I have to take a step, which means I could get paralyzed, and then she could decide to just fireball me like 6 times in a row, or however long I'm paralyzed. That wouldn't be good, so that's risking instant death. I could Apocalypse, which may steal her magic with an anti-magic effect, making it unlikely for her to be able to cast at us, and it may paralyze her, it may slow her, it may do a number of things. Ideally, it would do some of those things, or one of those things, thereby increasing my chance of survival, maybe even killing her outright, or coming close to it. Or I could try Paralysis, 26%, no thanks. Feel of Floods, I guess, is an option. That would put some stuff between me and her. That would probably make it unlikely for her to be able to fireball me or paralyze me, but then again, there's no guarantees. I think that Apocalypse is the move. Alright, we killed her outright. But I'll tell you, Irolcha, that is an enemy that you want to take that seriously. You want to assume that she can one-shot you on most characters. So it was good to take the, I really only had to think about that for like, what, a minute, 30 seconds? But just slowing down and thinking, gee, what do I really want to do here? That's the type of thing that keeps you alive in this game. Especially, against certain enemies. I mean, and identifying those threats, I guess I've probably said this a few times now, but I think it bears repeating. Identifying threats is the core of not just winning, but streaking in this game. It's the core of streaking. If you want to streak at all, you have to be able to identify threats. And, unfortunately, it's not as simple as saying, well, like this monster, that monster. I mean, for some characters, it's always a threat. Like, you're going to be hard-pressed to play a character where an Orb of Fire is not a top-tier threat. If only because it can malmutate you. You might have 3 pips of fire resistance, you might have like 100 AC on top of that, and that makes you unlikely to take much damage from the actual fire, but you could still get mutated. You could still get rotted if you're undead, so on and so forth. But not all monsters are like that. Like, there are characters where Irolcha wouldn't really be a big deal, So you gotta be able to... see what the threat is for your character, and that necessitates slowing down a bit. We're going to buy a bunch of these potions, identifying them really handily. I'll put the lignification on my shopping list, but I'm probably not going to get it. That's our first shop. That's a pretty good use of gold. We got several identifications out of that, and that's great because we are lacking identification scrolls. We're really behind on identifying things, in my opinion. Having haste is great, even if it's only 1. Having invisibility is great. Might even want to train some stealth, despite the -5 apt. Although I'm sure there are those that would disagree with that. Oh, I don't really want to be fighting all this stuff at the same time. Seems like I'm being overly cautious, but I could eat smites the whole time that I'm fighting those dudes, so let's not. I'll fight the priest by itself, though, no problem. for the most part, we'll be able to tab this stuff. Hey, a book. Staff form? Nope. Go ahead and drop this book, drop that book. I want to drop some more things, honestly. I've got a lot of stuff equipped, or a lot of swap-on items that I'm just kind of hanging on to, and it's really messing up my inventory management. But that's sort of the way the cookie crumbles when you've got a vulnerability to both fire and ice. You really need to keep those swaps on for emergency situations. Well, we have a bunch of crappy mutations, so let's eat some more. Let's eat some more mutated meat. Now we're engorged. I'm going to fix this by casting passage a bunch of times because I have a decent amount of food. Spell hunger off that. Now we're very full instead of engorged. Ah, awesome. That's one we wanted. We canceled out our strength penalty and we got RC+. So for the time being, RF+ is all we're looking for to become a normal character again. Staff of Air. Much as I didn't want to carry another thing, that is a source of RLEC. I'll take it. Wow, not a lot of options for things to get rid of. I think I'll drop the Wand of Confusion. We'll come back for it later. Whoa, hello, Shafted. I don't know why I just searched for Shaft. I was looking for wands, actually. Oh, wow, okay. So let's Shroud. See if we can't kill this. Oh, wait, I'm not too concerned because it's... Remember, we're not RC minus anymore. Got a Wand of Polymorph here. I was complaining about shafts on the subreddit for this game. I think they're kind of lame, but at this point in the game, they're not that big of a deal. Oh, we got a vampire. 35% confuse. I'll just Shroud, and I'll just kill him. Shouldn't be too much of a hassle. Power Leap to finish him off. Let's go back up. And we'll finish out D10 before we go to D11. Maybe roll the dice on some more mutations, actually. Make ourselves hungry again with Pog. Oh man, we got robust. Alright, I'm done. I'm done with mutation roulette. We're good on that for now. We just got robust on a troll, so that's really, really good. Really nice. Okay, a Cursed Ring of Slaying, we'll remove that. Really good mutations, I'll tell you that. Really good luck on that. At first, we got screwed a little bit. I believe I had the 3 bad mutations, and that happened because I was doing mutation roulette. But I mean, this is why I like to do mutation roulette, because you, as long as you have a potion of mutation, it looks like I didn't. So I don't know what I was thinking, because I mean, what you can get is you can get teleportitis, and you can get berserkitis and so on and so forth, and that can really ruin your game. I probably just did it because I'm a troll. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, this as a troll, you're not gonna be too afraid for the early game. So, but a truly optimal play probably doesn't involve eating mutated chunks unless you know that you have a bunch of mutation potions to remove any particularly horrible things that show up. We are just full of items. Really no javelins? No. It's our first javelins that showed up there. I'm gonna drop the tomahawks at least and grab the javelins, which are superior as far as I remember. Let's see. Minimum attack delay 0.7, base damage of 10. Minimum attack delay 0.7, base damage of 6. Yeah, javelins are better. That's what I thought. It's been a little while since I played a throwing character. Oh man, I really gotta get rid of some of this stuff. Thinking the Staff of Fire goes. We've got a Ring of Fire, so that'll be sufficient. Okay, let's make the Pog. Let's use the Pog. A few more things than I'd like to fight, to be honest, at the same time. But this is okay. We can take the staircase if there's a problem. Oh, my Pog got eliminated. I meant to say we could take the Pog if there's a problem, but the Crimson Imp went into it. But that's fine, we killed the stuff all the same, so no big deal. Oh. Cyclops. 35 damage. This isn't so bad. Try not to take any stat damage from that closet, but we're okay. Remember, we're still pretty low on defenses, so even Yaks can cause us an issue. That did enough damage to trigger my auto fight stop. Let's just pull all these dudes and fight them one at a time in this hallway. It's kind of funny, you know, Yaks, you consider them to be popcorn, you know, an enemy that you just don't care about fighting, but they can do damage. They can cause you a problem. Oh hey, we got our first large rock. I like that. What is deals increased damage? How much increased damage does steel do? 30% more. So not enough. Not enough to be worth it. So let's turn off tomahawks entirely. Turn on javelins, those are always good. And of course we'll keep large rocks on. And I'm gonna drop this Tomahawk of Dispersal. We're kind of past the point where that's gonna be required. And there's only one left anyway, so. They're great at the beginning of the game to save your bacon, but there comes a point when you'd rather just have the slot unless you have a bunch of them. I mean, if I really need to get away and I need to do it now, I'm just going to cast Blink, or I'm going to cast Pog. I have, obviously you can see that I'm using stones here as my base throwing item, and that's just because there's effectively unlimited. If there were to come a time when I need to kill something really fast or do a lot of damage at range before it gets to me, I would use the large rock, and then I would use the javelins once the large rocks are gone. Oh, got a Hydra. I forget if I've killed Hydras yet on this character. Probably not. What is it, 7 heads? Yeah, 7 heads, about 140 damage possible. Unfortunately, the claw, the auxiliary claw, I believe, can cut its head off. Let's, this could be better. Let's Pog. Cool. Let's hit it with the large rock and the javelin. And we got it. Could have always ran to this other Pog if I got hit for a lot of damage. But yeah, throwing, that's only 9 throwing, and I just took out a Hydra with javelins and large rocks, and none of them even mulched. So, you know, yippee. Throwing is good. Throwing's really good. Let's reset this fight. Let's totally reset it. Another amulet. Let's identify it. Amulet of Harm. No thanks. We'll pop on. That tells me it's safe to pop this amulet on. As much as I'd like Guardian Spirit, I hate to wear it, especially on Rue. The extra hit points would be nice, but not worth making it impossible for me to use Apocalypse if necessary. Fire Elemental concerns me, not just because I am RF minus. I mean, that's fine, I can just pop that on. But a Fire Elemental here makes me wonder if Azrael is nearby. I don't know if he can show up in the dungeon. Oh, he's definitely, for sure. I'm assuming anyway. Yeah. We'll go up here, we'll rest, we'll go back down. Alright, so we have the, you may have seen me quickly swap on my Ring of Fire, so we're RF null. Let's take a look at his damage potential. He can bolt a fire for 60. Do a number of other things that do less damage, and of course he can hurl damnation for 60. So he's no slouch. Let me think about this. 60 damage. Well, that's a minimum of 2 hits we can survive. So I'm thinking Apocalypse is the move here. Oh, he's actually rather susceptible to paralysis. I thought his MR was better than that. Let's see if we can't avoid some drain, get some paralysis on him instead. And we got it. Throw out this feel. Oh man. You know, actually I'm gonna Apocalypse and clear all this stuff. Azrael got paralyzed again. We're just gonna try to finish him off, and then his Hellhound. There we go. That was a little sloppy, but okay. He has a fire weapon we could use on Hydras, but we don't really need it at this point since we can kill them with throwing. But yeah, that could have been handled a little less sloppy. I didn't need to use my wand if I was going to end up apocalypsing anyway, but eh. Of course, if anything truly bad happened, we have the Scroll of Blinking. Some corpses, go back to Engorged. So I see that we found the Orcish Mines. Now, if you run into Azrael, by the way, definitely take him seriously, even if you do have RF+. Because, well, he can do a lot of damage with Damnation. So nothing in the game stopping him from just using Damnation 2 or 3 times in a row, hitting you for max damage, and, you know, it only takes 3 to do 6, 12, 18 damage. 180, I mean. Hey, a shop. I like to see shops. This one is a general store, so it could be anything, but I like to see shops because it's kind of like rolling a bunch of acquirement at the same time. We've auto-explored into Josephine, eaten a ghostly fireball, and we've been drained by that. I think I'm just going to apocalypse this. he is slowed. I'm going to Pog. I'm not actually going to run yet, but if need be, I will. Ouch. A lot of drain, unfortunately. Let's see if this rope's any good. Oh, hey, I'll take that. Alright. Would have been nice to have before fighting her, but what are you gonna do? Have to work off this drain now. Thinking we need to move back for this stuff. Pop on Shroud and wait for it. Put Shroud back on every time we see it starting to fade. And we're good. These guys are interesting. A lot of potential damage here. The Pog. Paralysis? Excellent. He can only do 88, so he can't kill us in one hit if the paralysis ends. Oh, come on. There we go. Could use another Wand of Paralysis, but then again we've got 6 Scrolls of Recharging, so not a big deal if we have to use one. And I'd rather have that to Confuse. I mean, I could go pick up a Confuse Wand, but whoa, hey, this is a Wand of Lightning. Let's take him out. We'll drop the Wand of Disintegration, keep the Wand of Lightning. Alright, we can identify a Potion of Magic with this, and get ourselves a Scroll of Teleportation. Everything else we don't really need. That's cool. More identification is always good. Pog here. Can't get paralyzed while this dude's in front. Well, okay, well there's the paralysis, that's fine. I meant to say petrified, by the way, for the Basilisk. He requires line of sight, or a direct line of effect. Line of fire, I should say. Let's go over here now while we're getting petrified. And Pog this way, so that if he comes next to us, yeah, he gets teleported over there. Man. Pog there. And Pog there. So he can't get next to me again. This is really obnoxious that he keeps petrifying me, but you can see how I can move him around with Pog, even when I'm about to get turned to stone. I got turned to stone twice there, and I didn't take any damage. Why? Because I used Pog in an optimal way, or close to optimal in any event. Whoa. Got a Rhyme Drake, that's fine. We're not RC minus right now. Interesting, interesting arrangement of enemies here. We'll just fight them, I guess. We're almost up to 12 UC, which is where I said I would. Start using my claws for real. Let's go up. Will I be surrounded if I go down? Probably. So I'm thinking another staircase. Let's fight one of these dudes, not all. Awesome. One at a time. That's the way it should be done. Glad we were able to separate the pack like this, rather than fighting more than one at once. ugly things can do 22 damage and they move relatively quickly, so ideally you don't fight too many at once. Let me get the paralysis on this dude. Well, maybe not. Close the door. Recharge. Wait a little bit. If you close the door on them, they will de-merge. Or separate, I guess. So you don't have to worry about fighting something that can do 100 damage to you. This can only do 44, so this is okay. Let's actually back up. And get the power leap on both. Big fan of power leap on those guys if you can get them to separate, because obviously you're getting a bigger pile of damage, you know. Whoa, hey, that's nice. We pop around a corner and we see a golden eye with a 72% chance of confuse. This is why I hate these enemies. It's a pure gear check. They really shouldn't be able to show up in the dungeon, but that's okay. We didn't even have to use a curing potion. But like, imagine if this shadow was a two-headed ogre that can do like 100 damage to me. Or I guess it's more like 70, but whatever. It's a two-headed ogre, and then you get perma-confused by this golden eye. What are you supposed to do? The way that it works is you drink a potion of curing, but they can just confuse you again the next turn, and they probably will. So, I don't agree with that being in the monster table for anywhere other than slime. I mean, if you're going to have gear checks in the game, they should be limited to specific branches where you know the gear check is coming. I mean, certainly, I guess you could say, okay, I know the gear check is coming because GoldenEye can spawn on dungeon floors beyond, like, I don't know, 13. And you could think about it that way, sure, but at that point you're basically saying, have a few pips of MR by such and such a time, or your character could get killed and there's nothing you can do about it, which I think is kind of silly. I mean, I'm overstating the problem a little bit. It's not, this is not a common situation. But it can happen. Alright. Okay, let's get away from these dudes. Way too many of them. Actually, I should be going this way. Oh, geez. Let's pog and pog and pog. I don't think they can open... Oh, they can open doors. I don't know why I thought they couldn't. This is actually pretty bad because these guys are faster than me. Maybe I'll field, and that will not even come close to blocking them. Paralyzed? Okay, he's paralyzed. We'll just walk away from this because they cannot swap places with a paralyzed buddy. Well, that's unfortunate. Star Drain hits me with the red drain. That's fine. We've got unarmed combat to a base of 12 now, so I'm going to start using that. I haven't done the math on this. I have no idea if it's actually better than my +8 trident, but I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to assume the answer is yes, because level 3 claws are really good. Oh, wow. 21% fail rate. I guess red drain's pretty bad. I mean, it makes sense, really. Let's finish him. A lot of damage potential on these ugly things. Could Gonna take out the non-slowed thing first, since it's the bigger threat. Well, hey, our first skeleton warrior. Shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, we just kill him as long as he's alone. Okay, this guy's done quite a lot of damage to us. Let's set up the Pog in case we need to run. 17 plus 36. One more hit. Go into intelligence, and we'll get out of here. And we'll rest up. Take this up. Let's power leap to finish him off. I'm gonna go ahead and drop this trident. If we need our poise, we'll pop on a ring. Okay, Cyclops. Let him throw rocks at us. Let's just go up the staircase if I took too much damage, but I didn't. Nice of him to give us another large rock. A lot of stuff showing up. Let's fight on a staircase for safety. Not too concerned about getting paralyzed by the basilisk. I mean, even if I get paralyzed next to him, it's... How much damage does a basilisk do? Maybe I should be. Oh wow, he can do 20 damage. Yeah, I should be I should be playing more carefully next to those basilisks. Ooh. We don't want to get flash frozen right now. Oh, come on. Give me my cast. Alright. Let's just walk away from the stuff. Oh, right. He can move faster than I can. So we paralyze, we walk away, we heal up. A little bit sloppy. I want the warrior by himself with no Drake. We've succeeded in setting that up. We kill him. Catoblepus, I'm sure we've killed one of these before on this character. I think there was one in the lair that we got. Easy enough. This must be some kind of special vault that's placed earth elementals. Very easy. Just walk away from them and reset the fight if something goes wrong. This is good. I'm gonna make a Pog. In case I have to get out of here. It's not a very good Pog. Yeah, this is an interesting vault. Some powerful stuff in here. But really it's just giving us large rocks. That's cool. Identify scrolls, always good to see. Book of Dreams, probably won't be using anything in this. We're a troll, so spellcasting is unlikely for the most part. Still got my fingers crossed for stat form. Stat form troll is one of the strongest things in this game. Yeah, about this. I'm thinking that Wand of Lightning is the answer here. And then we go up. Oh, stoned before we could make it up. But as long as lightning hit, we weren't at risk of dying there. Probably should have Apocalypse there for maximum safety. But I'm I'm not sure exactly how many rounds you can get paralyzed. The Basilisk can only do 20 damage per hit, so it would have to be at least 8 rounds. That seems like more than what they're capable of paralyzing you for. I'm trying to look at the... Well, I keep using paralysis and petrification interchangeably, but it's not quite the same thing. Let's see. You're slowing down. Those are stiffening. I guess there's no message for you turn to stone. Oh wait, no, there it is. You have turned to stone. So we got 2 attacks, a gaze, another gaze, and then I can move. So roughly 4 turns. I'm assuming that's a roll. So that's good to remember for the future. How do I get this to... There we go. Don't know why that was highlighted there. Must have done that somehow. Let's make pogs. Hey, here's our friend the Hydra. We'll kill him with rocks. Pog away, kill him with more rocks, and he's dead. For reference, large rocks do 20 damage apiece. A lot more than javelins. Double, in fact. That's why they are considered so good. So we'll use them a bit here. Oh. Simulacrum. No thanks. Necromancers, of course, have this ability that... Oh, right, I should be a little more careful here. He could have Bolt of Fire. Let's see how much damage the Necromancer Bolt of Fire does. If I can spell it right. Necromancer, not Necro... Manacker. Okay, okay, about 60 damage. That's not so bad, even with vulnerability. Takes it to about 90, I think. Let's just keep throwing rocks at this dude. Oh, it's Bolt of Fire, so we're going to pop on the Ring of Fire. We're out of large rocks. We'll switch to javelins. And he's dead. Sweet. Kind of rolling the dice there on what sort of energy he could cast, but it worked out for us even if we guessed wrong. Do I want See-Invis or do I want Pro Magic? I want Pro Magic up all the time. That is a really good sign, by the way. We found that ring of protection from magic really helpful. If you've seen any of my videos, you know that I value protection from magic incredibly highly. For many reasons, not the least of which is the one, you know, like that situation you saw earlier where there was just a GoldenEye just chilling out on D14. Okay. Finish out the dungeon. Jeez. Melee just is very unreliable sometimes. There we go. See, this is a bit of a problem, because even if we pog away from this stuff, it's just so fast. It's generally best to just throw up a shroud and duke it out in these situations, although it becomes a little more complicated when these slime creatures are showing up. I'm going to try to kill the... Yeah, I've killed most of the centaurs, and now I will try to pog away. Whoa. Bit of a mistake there. This is okay. We will power leap away. Oh man, and there's a Boggart, and he could call all kinds of things, and there's a centaur as well. Let's slam the centaur first with the field. He'll get killed by that. Boggarts have really good MR, don't they? No, they don't. I could paralyze him, perhaps. come on. I'm just gonna Sea Blink past him if I have to. Oh man, even more stuff. Pog? Okay, this is okay. I can draw power if I absolutely have to. We're gonna go into the Pog. We're gonna go this way. I don't like fleeing into the darkness, but we've got plenty of resources. Take a scroll. And we're gonna regenerate really quickly as we do this. Looks like there's a Boggart chasing us, but okay. We found the staircase, so everything's okay. That could have gone better. Could have gone better, but all's well that ends well. Looks like we've got our first Yaktar of the game. Oh, come on. Just gonna power leap him to death. Boggarts, of course, have very low hit points, so... Oh, jeez. Blink out of that. Shapeshifter, Poison, Swamp Dragon. Wow, the game just kind of decided it was on and sent a lot of stuff to take me out just now. Like, I came up here and this whole pack was waiting for me. But we'll just do the usual stair dancing thing, taking out things one at a time when possible. And we'll clear out D15. Now, I'll probably cut the video here. Well, not here, but as soon as I finish out Dungeon. I was going to do Orc as well. Oh, wow. This is really, this is a little frustrating, I would say. And the reason is, this is the second artifact I've found that I can't use. I found gloves earlier and I found boots just now, but I'm too fat. My troll needs to go on a diet. Oh, geez, this is a bad position. So let's fix it. Let's get out of here. Let's try that again. Hopefully the Boggart doesn't send anything too nasty at us. It did not. So we'll rest up. Ah, we killed two of the Rakshasa clones, but not the actual Rakshasa. Can anybody say that word right the first time, I wonder? Rakshasa. Too many SH sounds in that for me. Get a little mush-mouthy trying to say that. I think that's like, isn't that from like Indian mythology maybe? Like a Hindu thing. I'm familiar with them. They're in D&D, so I know that they're like a typical fantasy monster, but I'm like 99% sure it's from Hindu mythology. Originally, anyway. Like most things in fantasy, just lifted right out of some mythology. All right, this is troublesome. We don't know what energy this dude can do. I'm going to try for the paralysis. All right, fine. Take him out. I probably should have just thrown rocks at him, honestly. It really is a top-tier threat, things that can do different kinds of energy. Wow. No. I just saw an acid blob. Not quite sure what an acid blob is doing on D15, but I'm guessing that it's, I'm guessing it's one of those big vaults where a whole lot of slimes can spawn, which worries me. That tells me that there's probably a lot of acid blobs on this floor, and possibly even azure jellies. Alright, gonna have to be a little careful on here. I almost don't even want to finish exploring this, to be honest, but I will. items to get rid of. First, we'll try this Ring of Protection. It's only +2. Drop that. We'll drop the random effects. This will have to do for now. Starving. Ooh, Torpor Snail as well. It's an interesting vault. But Torpor Snails are easy enough as long as they're by themselves. I need to pay more attention to my food clock, probably. I'm gonna guess that I could have been eating meat this whole time. But maybe not. A lot of stuff doesn't leave corpses on this floor so far. A bunch of jellies and stuff. Look at party tricks. Actually, some stuff in here we might want. We'll get Lesser Beckoning. It's really good. I guess I'll get Summon Butterflies. Unlikely that I'll use that, but maybe. That'll be it. I mean, I could get Apportation. I mean, whatever. I'll get Apportation. Everybody wants to memorize Apportation, but in my experience, I just don't use it. I mean, it is only one spell level, so yeah. How many spells realistically am I gonna memorize, really? Just eat some jellies off the ground here. Alright, yeah, 52 minutes into the video. I think that we will stop here and I'll just put Orc in a separate one. Okay, so I feel not good about this character right now. It seems on its face really strong. Like, sure, I've got the full piety on Rue, that's great. I've got massive damage from my claws, cool. I've even got the ability to reset with Pog. Of course, we started as a Warper, so that shouldn't surprise us. Nonetheless, the RC minus, RF minus situation, I mean, I guess not RC minus because I have the mutation for now. I mean, but that situation is really concerning to me, and more importantly, I don't have enough MR to immunize myself to paralysis from Orc sorcerers. So, for this, I'm thinking we're going to pop on Ring of Fire in place of the +3 AC, and we're going to walk in here with very low AC, very low EV. I mean, not a lot we can do about that at this point. We have RN+, which is actually pretty good in here. And then we'll just see if we can't Stare Dance it, you know, when necessary. I'm confident that I can take out anything in here. I mean, worst case scenario, I can Apocalypse and kill anything in here. I have Immolation Scrolls, not that I really want to use them, but I have them as an option. I could Immolate, throw a large rock, and kill most of the main vault, so on and so forth. It just depends on what the layout is and what, you know, how kind or how cruel the game is to me. But Orc Mine's next. Depending on how long that takes, I might try to pack in like Shoals or Spider Nest or something in with it. But I will tell you, this character is not as strong as it looks. My defenses are bad. I have the hidden Rue defenses, I guess, in the form of the Auras, but that's not reliable. I mean, yeah, this character could be better. It's still a little bit awkward. If I had Staff Form online somehow, then we'd be on fire. We'd be good. But yeah, this is a bit of a rickety machine that we built here. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Orc Mine's next. To be determined what happens after that. Hope you guys enjoyed.